welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming a binder tour, so I am finally going to go through all of my binders. I think I've pretty much only been showing 6 binders on my channel for the most part, which are just my standard photo card binders. But I do have 3 other binders of the same size that are for larger inclusions. And then I do have this A5 binder that I have for Luna because I did buy their Season's Greetings last year. So I have them here. And then I did recently get this tiny, adorable little binder from Okiki. And yeah, I'm just gonna show all of these. Let's get right into this because this is going to be a very long video and I've decided to just have it be one video. So I will be putting in chapters in the video so that you can skip forward to whatever binder you're most interested in looking at if you don't want to sit through the whole thing. But yes, all of my binders are 1.5 inch binders. We're going to start with this tiny one. Oops. So this is an A5 binder from Beyond D. This is basically this binder that literally everybody in the collecting community has if they have an A5 binder. And like I said, right now I just have Luna in here. So I have all their Season's Greetings and we'll go through all the pages. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. So we have all their Season's Greetings and then some album photo cards as well. I have Chu and Olivia Hayes solo albums. So those are the photo cards I pulled. And then I do have Midnight. So these were my 3 pulls. And then I did buy their latest comeback. I believe it's And these were my pulls. Honestly, I think that in the new year, I am going to downsize my Luna collection. Just because I'm going to be focusing on a lot of other groups. Quite frankly, like, this binder is not my favorite. The elastic is so tight that it just makes this whole thing curve. So I might remove the elastic and then just use this binder for freebies. Because I tried it out, I didn't really love it too much. So yes, I think I will be downsizing my Luna collection. There are, like, I think these 2 photo cards, I don't think I could ever part ways with them. So I will likely keep them in my other girl groups and boy groups binder. But let's just flip through it because I do have it. It is part of my collection right now. Like I said, I do have their Season's Greetings from 2020. So I have all of the photo cards here. And I just made these to fill in the spot because each member has 5 photo cards. And I just have a few extra sheets back here. Then I did put in their larger inclusions just to use up these larger pockets. And that's it. Let's quickly go through this tiny binder because I only have literally 3 photo cards in it because I haven't really gotten into getting dupes. I'm focusing on just completing my collections. But I did have a dupe of this photo card because I think I ended up pulling it in an album after buying it on Neokyo, so yes. And I have these little Polaroid decos in front of them, and I got those from K-Time For You. I actually got this little binder from K-Time For You as well. And then I have this Mingyu because I have a dupe of him, and I really don't want to get rid of him. He's so cute. And of course, Kissy Coops. Look at him. He's too adorable. So that's literally all I have in here, but I do want to fill this out with dupe photo cards. Okay, let's get started with my first larger inclusions binder. So this is larger inclusions for any group that is not Monsta X or 17. I think that's better. So I do think I did show this like once recently, and that was because I was putting away Twice's pre-order benefit photo cards for Formula of Love. So I briefly came in here and put stuff away, but yes, I do have some of their pre-order benefit photo card sets at the front. And then I do have all of the ones for Taste of Love, as well as for Formula of Love. And then I do have most all of Twice's larger inclusions because I do own all of their albums in here. So these were all of my sticker pools for Twicetagram. And then the Polaroids for Summer Nights. And if you're curious, the way I organize larger inclusion binders is that I go by amount of pockets per page. I do have these 2 pockets in the front, but just because they are narrower than everything else. But if you notice, I started off with 9 pockets, and then once we're done with these 2 pockets, so I also have Red Velvet in here and Stacy. And another way of organizing is that after I organize by pocket pages, so 9 to 8 to 4 to 3 to 2, again, exception on these 2 pockets just because they're so narrow that I feel like they would just make other pages bend towards the back, so that's why they're at the front. But within that, I don't separate by group in that I have all Red Velvet stuff in one section, all Twice stuff in one section. I just fit whatever fits in the pocket pages. That's how it is. So after that, we have my 8 pocket pages. So I have, these came in the Eyes Wide Open album for Twice, and then these are Key Time For You pre-order benefits for Wikimiki and for Monsta X's photo book. And then I have Itzy's Crazy in Love Polaroids in here, as well as their smaller cards that came in the album, so you got a full set. So I pulled both versions. And then I did keep my Twice ID cards in here because I ended up getting 4 sets of my top biases, and they're horizontal. It just made sense to put them in an 8 pocket. I had 8, so yeah. And then we have these 3 pockets, which are also at the front because they are also shorter. But yes, we have these longer 3 pockets. So again, things are mixed in. I have Taeyeon, Twice, Red Velvet, Twice. I ended up pulling these 3, which was amazing. I bought the Yes or Yes albums at different times, like all 3 versions, and I ended up pulling all 3 of these film strip cards, which is amazing. And then we have Ace and CLC, Itzy, and that is it for these 3 pockets. And then we move on to 4 pocket pages. So we have VAV, BTS, Board 4, Sunmi, Card, Joy's album Hello, Red Velvet's Queendom, Monster for Irene and Sogi. And then we have Twice's Taste of Love. This was a benefit if you bought the album from Target. And then these are from More and More. And then this one, as well as these 2, are from Taste of Love as well. Then we have Dreamcatcher, another BTS, and this one's in this 4 pocket because these 4 pocket pages are wider. So I try to keep things that are much thinner in the thinner ones. These are Ultra Pro. And then the BCW ones, which are wider, I fit in the things that don't fit in the Ultra Pro ones. And we have Red Velvet. And then 3 pockets. So I have Twice. So this is obviously Fancy. These lenticulars fall out. This is obviously Fancy. Oh my god, this was so out of center. Sorry. Taste of Love. And then Formula of Love, which I just have these in the back because there are 4 and I just haven't reorganized them. And then we have Taeyeon's postcard set from Purpose. And is this one? I think this one's from, what do I call you? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think. We have Monster, Board 4, CLC, UNB, Uijin, VAV, Astro, and then Sana, little poster from Eyes Wide Open. But yes, that's everything that is in this binder. So this is just a catch-all for all groups that I don't thoroughly collect plus twice. Next we have my Monsta X Larger Inclusions binder, and this is a new edition because I bought the limited version of No Limit and I pulled Minhyuk, so he's down here. And then I do have some of the Polaroids from Are You There that I've just pulled. These are both of these from Beautiful, I think? Yeah, these are from Beautiful. So I pulled double Minhyuk and then a Changkyun. And this is one of the group Polaroids from We Are Here. This is another one. And then Fantasia. I only bought, so one of the Fantasia albums I bought was a second press, so it didn't come with the Polaroid. And then these are the bookmarks for Follow, the bookmarks for Fatal Love, the film strips for No Limit, and Hyungwon always moves. I don't know why. And I also have the bookmarks for No Limit. And then I do have the Follow keynote in here, and I do have the Fantasia and the Fatal Love keynotes, but I do have those up for sale, or they will be up for sale when I get back from vacation. But I did keep Follow because it is the last, well, it's their first keynote. It's the only keynote that has one in it, and I just ended up keeping one postcard of each concept per member in this binder, and then the rest are just sitting in the box put away. But yeah, that's why I decided to keep this one. It also has a full set of photocards, so I'm keeping those as well. And then I did buy their 2020 season's greetings, so we have these little postcards in here. These are my pulls from Fantasia. I think these were called the triangle cards. And then I do have one whole solo stuff in here as well because it doesn't make sense to put it anywhere else to me. So they're sprinkled in with the rest of the things that I have. So we have the Follow standees down here. This is a postcard from Love Synonym Part 1. More of the Follow standees, and then this is one of the Follow albums I bought was an American Press, and I pulled Minhyuk's postcard. And then I've also bought one American Press for Fantasia and one for One of a Kind, and I pulled Kihyun and Juhan. And then in the limited edition of No Limit, I pulled Juhan's standee. And then here I have one whole solo stuff. So I did used to have his full set here, but I have since decided to downsize that. So I'm now only keeping one version of each. And so this is the version that I kept for Love Synonym Part 2. These are from the 2020 season's greetings. They're calendar postcards. And then I did buy their photo book. This is the Siesta version. There was another version called Comma, but the Siesta version came with an accordion postcard set that you cannot rip apart. But I ended up just cutting it because I wanted to store these. So yeah, I cut them apart. And then they also came with these two film strips. So I have them in there because they fit perfectly. And then these two postcards, they actually came with honeycomb because my sister bought me honeycomb for my birthday a couple years ago. And it just came with these two postcards. I actually think these postcards are official. This one, the Minhyuk one, is Tony Moly, and Juhan's is Lip Tone. So yeah, that's pretty cool that it also came with a Juhan postcard from a brand. So yes, that is it for this binder. Moving on over to my 17 larger inclusions binder. This binder is really full. It is really full. And this is partly why I want to reuse the A5 binder once I downsize Loona to fit freebies, because I think it would be nice to use this binder for that, because I have a few pages of freebies that are really cute and I want to keep. So yes, over here I have this little card that I can't, this is stuck to the back. This came in a trade, I believe, and I've just kept it in there in case I want to put it with a photo card. Oh my god. with a freebie and just decorate it, but I haven't done that yet. Anyway, so Ava, her account is Karateume. I probably butchered that, and I am sorry if I did. She's here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I joined a bunch of her group orders, and I honestly cannot remember if this is from a trade, sale, or group order, but she made these cards, and they're so, she just used like a page from your choice. She has a bunch of extra albums, but it's just so adorable. I love it so much, and I just couldn't throw it away, so it's living in here with a bunch of other freebies. And then I do have the carrot postcard thing picture from Social Club photo book, because it was the cover for a while, and then I switched it out and just left it in here. But yes, I started off with these freebies that I've gotten in trades, sales, or group orders. You will notice that the majority are from Ava because I just joined so many of her group orders. Yeah, she's the reason why I got into collecting 17. And yeah, I joined a lot of her group orders, clearly. There are a few others from other people in here, but yes, majority are going to be from her. These are the IDs for Incomplete if you bought the hoodie, and I just made these little templates for them. And yeah, they live there. I collected OT13 for all inclusions for semicolons. So we have the circle cards. I did buy one first press note album, and I got Vernon sticker. And then we have the rectangular cards for semicolon. We have the mini cards for your choice, so one side and beside. I'm missing June. I want to get June and fill this in, but I never found a trade for it, and yeah, it's just empty. I'll get it eventually, but yes, these are the ones I decided to keep in here. And then these are all just pools for my albums. So 2 Love and Letter albums I got June and Mingyu. I pulled Junghan's Polaroid for Ajunais. And then I pulled Minghao, Dino, and Woozy for the Hengare bookmarks. This Scoops bookmark came in a set of his photo cards that I got from Mercari Japan. And then I have one of the 2 Anode Kino sets in here, just so they don't take up too much space, as well as one of the 2 sets from Hengare. And then these came in sets from Mercari Japan. I believe both of these are from Happy Ending. And then we have the oval cards for semicolon, the unit cards for semicolon. I have Scoops and June's lucky draw receipts for your choice. I think these are from round 1. And then I pulled Wono, Jonghan, and Minghao for AL1. And DK. Oh yeah, because I have an extra, I ended up with an extra album. But yes, also DK. And then these 2 postcards came in another Mercari Japan set for Coops. I pulled Hoshi and DK's set in my actual director's cut albums. And then these are some of the postcards I decided to keep for in this binder from your choice, as well as the ones from Ataka, which I decided to collect Scoops and June. And I have the flip cards in here, and then these are just some of the extra postcards and flip cards that I have that I wanted to keep in here. And then all of the unit postcards from Ataka. And I have the 2021 season's greetings, so these are the postcards. This is a semicolon postcard that I actually don't know what benefit it was, but it came in one of the sets that I bought from Mercari Japan. This is the sticker sheet. I did buy the Hope version of a first press Hope version of an ode. And I did pull Vernon. This came in a set, and I decided to keep Joshua here. And then these are the mini posters, the 2 types of mini posters from Semicolon. I kept Scoops' Social Club clear card in here. This was a benefit from Weavers for your choice. And then I have social club photos of Scoops and June for both versions in here. And Vernon Standee is what I pulled in my only teenage album. And then I do have the Taiwanese edition of You Make My Day. I just left the slip in here. And then these are the cup sleeves and the little film strip from Hoshi's birthday event. Yes, that is it for this binder, and that is it for my larger inclusions binders. All right, we are going to go in the same order that I always go. All groups, twice, Monsta X, and then all 3 17 albums, or binders, I guess. But yes, let's start with all of the groups that are not those other 3. So first page is Board 4. And yes, I'm still looking for this last one. Hopefully I'll find it one day. And then we have Stacy on this next page, and the way I organize this binder, since there are so many different groups, is that I basically organize it all girl groups at the front, all boy groups at the back. And then within that, I organize by groups or artists that I like the most, I guess you could say, towards the ones that are just, I casually listen to them. So Board 4 is one of my all-time favorite duos and now person, solo artist, I guess. But yes, that's why they are at the very front. And then I do want to collect Stacy pretty thoroughly this next year, so they'll be living here. Right now, this is just how I have it set up, but Aisha from Everglow and Bomi from A Pink will be moving to the back. I did downsize a lot of my albums this year, and a lot of them are still up for sale and will be reposted on my Instagram account in the new year, around mid-January. So look out for that, but I did decide to keep a few photo cards that I just couldn't part ways with, and that included this Aisha photo card and this Bombi photo card. But again, they'll be moving to the back once I start really working on my Stacy collection. And then we have Red Velvet. I have one version of each of their albums at least, and these are just all of my pulls. I have never traded for a Red Velvet photo card. I've just kept what I pulled. I did buy Sappy from Mercari Japan, and it came with Joy's photo card. And then I did purchase this photo card. Everything else has been pulls. Yes, I pulled these 3 photo cards from my albums. The 3 photo cards I've ever wanted the most from Red Velvet, and I actually pulled them. That was so amazing. Like, I gasped so hard when I pulled this Irene. Oh my god. But I did really want this one, so I bought it. And then yeah, I have everything mixed in. So obviously these 4 are from Monster. This is from, which is Irene and Sugi's unit, and then Joy's solo Hello is down here. And then we have Dreamcatcher. I went as far back as I possibly could because most of their albums are out of print, and I only have one version of each, and then if there was a limited version, then that's the version that I end up getting. And these are all just my pulls. I did buy a Dami Lose Myself photo card to be here, and it is secured in Neokyo. It's actually at the warehouse right now. And then I am looking for this Yuhyun octopus. Somebody please sell it to me for a decent price because I want it so badly. But yes, that is Dreamcatcher. And then we have Taeyeon and Sunmi. And I do not buy all of their albums. Well, technically Sunmi, yes. She has more physical albums. I think like maybe 1, but it's like that it doesn't exist anymore, essentially. And then I do not get all of Taeyeon's albums, just the ones that I really like. And then I have at least one version of each of ITZY's albums, so these have all been my pools / benefits / sets that come in albums. So yes, I just keep what I pull, and then if I have dupes, I try to trade with my sister. If I still have dupes, then I trade for Che, because she is my bias and I love her so much. Then we have Wikimiki. So for Wikimiki, it's a little more complicated than just getting one version of each album, because when it comes to repacks, I prefer to buy the repack and not the original album, because they have the same songs except that the repack has extra songs in it. So Weekend LOL was a repack of Lock-In LOL, so yes, I just buy the repacks. And then I didn't buy their latest comeback, but then I have, again, some extra photo cards from other groups that I don't collect, some that I downsized. I kept one of Sejong's photo cards out of the 4 that came in her album. And then I did keep one of WJSN's photo cards from Neverland. And then these are my pools from CLC's albums. And then Chungha, we have, these are from Play Stay Tonight. This is from Flourishing, and these 4 are from Querencia. And I will talk about this later, but I will be downsizing Chungha a little bit. And then we have some of the photo cards from OGG's Kino for Little Touch. And then this is the catch-all page that I would be moving Aisha and Bomi to. So I have IS1 photo cards and then 1 G-Friend photo card that I couldn't part ways with. And these are all collections that I've downsized. Then we have the boy groups. So we have my little Schumann page, my little Schumann shrine. I ended up getting his Blooming Days photo card that will be here, and it's the one where he's holding the flowers, because this teddy bear one is literally impossible to find for a good price. And then I have some of EXO's albums in here, and these are all my pulls. I haven't traded any EXO photo card except for this one. I pulled Baekhyun and I wanted Schumann. And then I do have Kyungsu's solo album. And then we have Astro, so some Jinjin photo cards that I've bought, some that I've pulled, and then my 2 MJ pulls. And then we have UNB, which are these 4, and these were all my pulls from their 2 albums. I decided to keep this Yang Yang from NCT 2020 because this pen is beautiful. And this is holographic, and it's just really beautiful. It's just a really beautiful picture. So I decided to keep it, even though I am selling all of my NCT albums. This is Uijin. He was in UNB, and he released a solo album, Emotion. So this is my pull from that. And then I did buy Atlantis, Chinese Atlantis, and I pulled Mino, who I think is my bias. So love that I pulled him. And then these are my ATEEZ photo cards. So these are all from their EP series or their Pirate series. I decided to sell my Fever albums. So I'm just keeping this like this, and it will likely not grow anymore. Basically anything from Astro on will likely not grow any further. Then we have VAV, which are these 4 photo cards, and VAV is actually the group that got me into K-pop. Very first K-pop group I ever got into, so these hold a very special place in my heart, even though this one's green for literally no reason. And it's the only one like that out of the 7 members. I don't know why, but I don't think I'll ever part ways with this because it's just sentimental to me at this point. And then I do have one of Ace's albums, so these are my pulls from that album. I pulled Chan, who was in UNB as well. That's how I learned about him. And then I have this one photo card from NCT 2018 that's just really beautiful and I couldn't part ways with. BTS is another collection that will not be growing, but these have all been my pulls. My sister gave me this photo card before we started collecting albums and photo cards because she pulled him, and Jimin's my bias, and I clearly don't have any Jimin, so she gave him to me. This Tae photo card, I need to talk about him for a sec, because this photo card is the very first photo card that I ever pulled. This album was the very first K-pop album that I ever bought. And this Taehyung photo card, to this day, is still one of my all-time favorite photo cards ever. It is so gorgeous. The grayish hair on him, best thing ever. And I legit screamed when I pulled this photo card. And I don't know why, because I did not expect myself to react like that. Because my bias is Jimin. And then I saw this photo card and I literally was like, oh my god. Absolutely adore it. He is never going anywhere. But yes, just wanted to talk about that because it's the very first photo card in my collection. And then we have Card and New East. So these 2 are New East from their latest comeback, and then these are my card pools. Let's move on to the next binder. Okay, so here is my Twice binder, a binder that we've seen multiple times and know and love. So yes, Twice. I have Sana's Yes I Am Sana photo cards from her photo book. I bought this version and then of the photo book, and then I saw somebody selling these two photo cards on Instagram and I just jumped at the chance. So we start with Story Begins. These were all my pools. I do not store page 2 in here. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I do have all of Twice's albums, all versions. Excuse me, but I do not house page 2 in here because they're literally the only photo cards in their whole discography that are a different shape and a different size. And that stressed me out. So I just pulled them out and they live safely in their albums. But yes, I just don't have them in here. But these have, for the most part, been all of my pulls except for this Sana photo card for Twice Coaster Lane 1 and 2. I did pull this Chaeyoung set in the very first Twice Coaster album I bought, so that's pretty awesome. And then we have Signal. All of these were pools. I think this one came in a photo card set that I bought from Mercari Japan. Twice-tagram. All of them are pools except for these two Sanas. And then we have Merry and Happy. All these are original pools. And then we get into the eras where I have traded photo cards and will continue to trade photo cards to curate this collection even further and be very, very, very passionate about every single photo card that I have in my binder. So we have What is Love? We have Summer Nights. This page, best thing ever. I adore it so much. Niall's photo cards for Summer Nights are some of the best photo cards I've ever seen, period. I adore this. And then we have more Summer Nights and a little bit more. Then we have Yes or Yes. The Year of Yes. Fancy, and this is the only photo card that I do not have yet on hand in this binder, but I have secured it on Ukyo and it is at the warehouse. So I will be getting that next year. And as soon as I put this in, I'm gonna trade a bunch of other cards to curate my collection. So Twice is gonna be never ending. But yes, more fancy photo cards. Then we have Feel Special. And more. Eyes Wide Open. Taste of Love, which is when I started collecting 2 full sets, plus keeping the ones I liked the most, if I pulled them. And then we have Formula of Love, which I did the same thing. And then this last page in the back, we can ignore. This will end up going away next year, but as I was like downsizing some of the photo cards that I had earlier this year and rearranging stuff, these were photo cards that didn't quite fit into my layouts back here that I couldn't part ways with just yet. So yes, they're just living back here, but eventually they'll find a new home, whether that be in this binder, in their albums, or trading them or selling them. So yes, that is my Twice collection. I feel like these are gonna be like quicker to go through just because they're pretty straightforward. There's a very clear way of how I've collected stuff and it's all just one group. So there's not really much to talk about. I'll probably talk more about Scoops when I get to him, but yes. Let's move on to Monsta X. So for Monsta X, I collect Jooheon, all of his Korean album photo cards. I have most versions of all of their albums. But yes, I do collect Jooheon's Korean album photo cards, and then I do have some of his non-album photo cards here at the front that I just saw on Mercari Japan and couldn't resist, so I ended up buying them. And for older eras, I decided to keep my pools and not trade any of them off because I just can't. I can't get rid of them, quite frankly. So yes, let me test my memory on Monsta X's album. So we have Trespass, Rush, I have both versions of Rush. The Clan Part 1, Clan Part 2, Clan Part 2.5. This is Shine Forever. And then I've set up for Juhan, but still a work in progress. So these 2 pages are Juhan's photo cards for all of those albums, plus the Code and the Connect. And actually, yeah, Code and Connect. And then we move on to, what do we have here? Are You There? Are You There? So these are a lot of my pools that, again, I just couldn't get rid of. And then I've set up for Juhan's Are You There photo cards. I have completed his We Are Here photo cards. I did not collect all of the units, but yes, I have everything, including his American Press photo card. And then these are my pools for We Are Here for the rest of the members. And I do have Hyungwon's American Press photo card. And then this is the Kino for Follow. This is such a beautiful set. I love it. And then I do have Juhan's Follow photo cards set up. This Chankyun set, I talked about it once on my channel, so I'll try to very briefly go through this, but I basically bought all of the Follow albums at wildly different times of the year and from completely different sources. And somehow, out of those 4 versions of Follow, I ended up pulling these 5 photo cards. I pulled 5 out of the 6 Chankyun photo cards in my albums. And then my sister bought version 2 and pulled him. And I had Shonu for version 2 and he is her bias, so we were just like, let's just trade, you get your bias. And then I ended up with a Chankyun set somehow. So yes, I do have Chankyun's full set, and just because all of that happened miraculously by itself, I've decided to keep it in here and not trade it for Juhan's set. And then I do have the Fantasia Kino. Like I said, it is up for sale, but I am keeping the photo card set. And then Fantasia photo cards. So we have Juhan's full set, his unit with Chankyun, which I did pool. And then I bought this Kihyun because it's one of my all-time favorite Kihyun photo cards, and it's probably largely based on the fact that yellow is my favorite color, and then the combination of yellow and blue is my favorite color combination, so it's just so beautiful. And then I did pull this young one in my album, and he's so beautiful. I love it so much. Yeah, so they live in here. And then I did buy 3 out of the 4 Fatal Love albums through Sub K Shop at the end of last year, and they had special, like, specific to Sub K Shop photo cards that were benefits, and you got 2 per album. And since I bought 3 versions, because I had already pre-ordered one of them on K-Time For You, which is why I have this Juhan K-Time For You pre-order benefit, I ended up with the full set of the Sub K Shop benefit. So that's how I have this page laid out. These are all benefits for Fatal Love. And then we have Juhan's full set. His lenticular is not in here. But I also do have Shonu's Fatal Love Kino, and I am only going to trade that for Juhan's Kino because I didn't realize how expensive Monsta X Kino photo cards are, but they really are very expensive. So somebody please trade me. I have Shonu. Like, please, 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 please trade me for Juhan's Kino for Fatal Love. But yes, that will be up on my account mid-January. But I have the lenticular over here because I ended up with 5 out of the 6 lenticulars. I was only missing Shonu, so I was like, might as well just get all of them. So I did. And then we have One of a Kind. I'm only missing the Kino, and quite frankly, I'll likely just try and find one of Juhan's fan sign or pre-order benefit photo cards to fill in that spot, because those are actually less expensive than the Kino card for this. Granted, the Kino card for this era is so gorgeous, but yeah, too expensive for me. So yes, I did pull these 2 units. Actually, no, I bought one of them, I think. No, I bought both of them. Anyway, that's besides the point. And then these are some of my pools. Again, I just didn't want to get rid of them. Ended up with 2 full 7-card layouts. And then we have No Limit, so I am collecting all of his album photo cards, obviously. I collected all of his units, and then I am also collecting some of his pre-order benefit fan signed photo cards just to fill in the spots. And then we have the full photo card set from the 2020 season's greetings, the 2 photo card sets from the photo book, the Siesta version, this Juhan photo card. Hello. So gorgeous. And this is the other set. And then back here I have normal sized photo cards, just so they're not mixed in for the rest, and because there's no way of like really splitting this up. So I did get their X Phenomenon album. I just realized the sun's coming in, but I did get their X Phenomenon album. I actually think it was a gift from my sister for one of my birthdays recently, so I pulled Chono, and then I did buy the Dreaming, and I bought version 3, which came with Johan's photo card. And then these are the photo cards that I decided to keep for one home when I downsized to only having one version of his Love Synonym albums. Yes, that is it for Monsta X, and I'm going to move this table because the sun's coming in, and yeah. Okay, so I just looked at the timestamp and I realized how long this video has gotten. I've been filming for about an hour and I still have all my 17 binders to go through, so I think I'm going to split this up into 2 separate videos, which means that this is the end of this video. And yes, I will be posting the other one immediately after this one. I'm not gonna leave space in between because it's all a binder tour. But yes, I hope you watch that one as well. That one's gonna be solely for 17 photo cards. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I'm super excited to see how these collections grow, particularly Twice, my Juhan collection, and so excited to get started with Stacy. I hope you stick around for the ride in this new year. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one, which will be my 17 photo card collection.
주원이 형 약간 이러죠. 박수! 아니, 더 세게. 박수! 박수!